promise, in full disclosure, big ups to your mom out in the bullpen. I thought that was maybe your lady friend came to give you support.
No, you're not going to gloss over it like
I'm not
that.
letting you do it. That's
You are not going to gloss over it like that.
I fully, completely thought.
I would allow the gloss.
Let me break this down. This was amazing.
You're going to make this to be worse than it was.
So we're all in here chitty-chatting, getting to know each other, and Cameron discloses that he is in 8 fantasy leagues. 8, count them. Wow. And I retort with my usual, oh, so you don't like women.
That's not what you said either.
No, I was like, that's exactly what I said. Danny, back me up. Danny shaking his head.
Must not have a woman.
Same thing. Same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
Difference. All right. So I say that, and then Lebischak corrects me and says, his woman's out there in the bullpen. And Cameron goes, dude, that's my mom.
Mom, big ups to you. I see you out there lurking in the studio.
Amazing.
How are you this morning?
Wow.
So anyway, is this your first go around with a radio type thing, man? Are you in school right now?
I'm a senior at the Prairie View A&M University.
Nice.
Down to 90 about
You guys are on my sales route. I'm actually in your backyard quite a bit out there, and at the edge of civilization on 290.
Yeah, it is the middle of nowhere.
You dressed up. You're the only one that dressed up. Well done.
Oh, I was taught to dress for the job I want, not the one I have.
Smart man.
Him?
Yeah, well, you should have. What are you trying to own the place?
So what do you major?
He's wearing a tux. If you're not on the
place.
webcam, he's got a tux on. It's ridiculous.
So what are you studying out of Prairie View?
Communications major, criminal justice minor. And I am involved with the radio station and the television department.
Oh, do you host a show out there? Or do you
I do. Monday mornings. Well, we're actually being moved to Sundays.
All right.
It's going to be called.
Whoa, what time?
I have to sit down with my team.
No.
Look at a time. I will not interfere with you guys.
Whoa!
No, you won't. What is your show about? What do you do? Is it music? Are you doing
It's
talk?
a sports talk show.
Really?
Sports talk.
I can tell you this. In my experience, Prairie View, at least back in the day, in the 80s, maybe the 90s, had the run of losing for a real long time.
Yeah, we did.
Football. Tell us a little bit about their program now. What's going on?
The program is doing better now. Last year we had the #1 office in the SWAC. I believe we scored around 34, 35 points a game.
Nice.
Last year, receiver DeAndre Cooper, he broke a long-standing receiving record. He was an undrafted free agent by the Detroit Lions this year. I don't think he made the final cut into training camp. But, the team's doing better. New stadium's coming up. It'll be ready in by this time next year. So the football team's really taken off. I like where they're going. I think they got some potential to, get back to the top of the SWAC. They're only about 3 years removed from the last SWAC time.
Fantastic. Good. So he comes armed with knowledge, man. So you do sports talk.
He goes there. Ask him about TSU's program. Ask him about. He goes there.
Well, TSU, last time I checked, they were.
I don't want to throw that out because that's the big rival.
What do you know about Sam Houston State University?
Yeah, how's their program doing, smart guy?
Oh, they're doing great. I actually watched them yesterday.
Damn it. These guys that actually know things. Makes me sick.
That is fantastic. So, are you indigenous? Are you local? Born and bred, Houston?
Houston raised.
So you a big Texans fan?
Not at all.
No. Wow. Who's your
Don't
team?
you? He's going to say Pittsburgh or Dallas. Watch.
Baltimore.
Oh!
Come here. There you go.
Oh my God! They're hugging right now. They just hugged.
Nah,
This makes me
Baltimore fan.
sick.
Okay, let me
do you
take
listen
that
to the
back.
show, by the
I
way?
wonder if he knew that coming in.
I don't
Time out.
dislike.
First of all, do you listen to this show?
This is my first time. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I had no
I have a
contact
real
with this
issue
young man
with
before the
this.
show. That's where
I have a real
I'm not gonna. Let me.
So since you don't listen to the show,
Winner.
he's from that area
Winner.
and is a huge Baltimore Ravens fan. But that's beside the point. I'm upset you don't listen to this show. This is your first time listening to this show.
I actually just found out about
Make me sick,
ESPN
Cameron.
Houston. But
What? Make me sick.
So wait a minute.
He's all like, wait.
ESPN FM affiliate in the 4th biggest market. And
I just found out. We just upgraded.
Like today?
In vehicle. No, not today. We just upgraded the vehicle, so we have the good radio stations now, so I can scroll and find stuff. And one day I stumbled upon ESPN Houston 97.5 FM.
Well, let me ask you this, because you just disclosed that you're a Ravens fan. Barry and I were kind of talking about this before the show, and it applies to the Texans as well. They're 2-1, tied with Tennessee at the top of the preseason standings. There are 4 teams right now in the NFL undefeated in the preseason. It is Baltimore, New Orleans, Minnesota, and the New York Giants somehow.
Somehow, some way.
Which of those 4 teams most likely to make the Super Bowl?
most likely to make the Super Bowl.
Yep.
The Sooners.
If I had to pick, I think the most likely to win the Super Bowl or make the Super Bowl. Call me crazy. I have to go with the Ravens. Maybe in the NFC, the New Orleans Saints, they would have to go against the likes of Seattle, San Francisco, both teams that are really built to not necessarily stop Drew Brees and the potent New Orleans attack, but they can contain them just enough so their offenses can, keep it low scoring and, keep it around 23-17, stuff like that, where you don't let them really take off. Whereas in the AFC, it's more so of a point scoring conference. And then you come in with, you have your Paytons, you have your Toms. Well, I'm not saying Joe Flacco's in that category by any means, but he does have the tools. With Steve Smith Sr. now brings a toughness back that Anquan Boldin brought in the Super Bowl year. You have Torrey Smith, a deep ball threat. He can really fly. Jacoby Jones brings a special teams element. In my opinion, the best returner in football. And if Ray Rice can channel what he had the year of the Super Bowl and not last year, I think the Ravens could really make some noise and bounce back in the AFC this year.
So that's the interesting thing about them in Houston as well, as they've had that first place schedule for the last few years. Both teams, it seems, have had their common opponents with Denver. They've played New England, they've even played each other. Both teams not so well last year. So maybe they have an easier route. I'm thinking about New Orleans. That whole division is really tough this year.
It's tough.
Carolina might be the worst one, actually.
They might.
They might be.
Who were the four again? Read them.
Baltimore, New Orleans, the New York Football Giants, and the Minnesota Vikings.
Led by Teddy Bridgewater.
And the thing is, Philly has no defense. They're going to score a bunch of points.
Yeah.
So you put together a 10-6 season, you could win the NFC East. Minnesota has probably no shot up there, up in the.
No.
What do you think, Barry?
At first glance, you see that list and you think New Orleans is probably the best team on that list. But then you have to take into account the division that they play in, the conference that they play in. I could see the Giants, actually, like you said, Philly has no D, the Cowboys have no D. We don't know how the Redskins are going to look. To me, the Giants are kind of the tortoise in this tortoise and the hare race. Yeah, they've got that veteran leadership with Manning, who always seems to be able to do things that no one expects him to do.
Right. It's that Manning in him.
Yeah, I could see that being the team of those four, with a path that might be the easiest to the Super Bowl.
Right now, you've got Cincinnati, you've got Cleveland, you've got Indianapolis, the Dallas Football Cowboys, and San Francisco. None of them have won a game. Which of them is most likely to make the playoff, to make the Super Bowl as well?
Could you read that list one more time?
Sure.
That was a rather lengthy list.
Absolutely, because you didn't know where I was going with that. Cleveland, Indianapolis, Dallas, and San Francisco.
The team most likely to make the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I would have to say San Francisco because they're knocking on the door. They were one touchdown away from winning the Super Bowl.
Your mom's raising the roof out there. Are you a big Niners fan?
She's a Texans fan through. I tolerate the Texans because I like food on the table.
Oh, okay.
But back to your question, the San Francisco 49ers are knocking on the door. They've went out, they've added talent around Kaepernick. They went out and got Stevie Johnson this offseason for next to nothing. Colin Kaepernick's been developing. These last 2 seasons, he's been one pass away from winning a Super Bowl and getting to the Super Bowl. And I feel like they finally have to break through at some point while they still have most of these players under contract for little to nothing.
You know what? I'm not as up with the Niners as a lot of people. Sometimes that money catches up to you, and you got to start paying people. I think their Niners they're in a place where they're going to have to start losing people to keep other people. And you mentioned Stevie Johnson. That's a guy was in Buffalo his whole career. Was he anywhere else but Buffalo?
I think it's just Buffalo.
And again, he's a guy who's always been on a bad team who really never has done anything for me, but I like your insight.
I think maybe some people just need to change the scenery.
Change the scenery.
But I think it's interesting, the point that you made for your Baltimore Ravens is the counterpoint that you're making in that the easiest path you're saying is probably with the Ravens, right?
Right, the easier path. Yeah.
So, but you'll pick San Francisco, who probably has the hardest path.
They have the hardest path.
And having to get through Seattle when you have the Indianapolis Colts, who are in probably one of the, if not the weakest division
in the
AFC. And so they might have the easiest path to the Super Bowl
the Indianapolis
out of those 4 teams.
I think the Indianapolis Colts will have a I think they'll win the division again. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah,
Oh, I
pretty
don't
much.
know. Did you watch last
Have
night's
you
game?
seen these Texans
Did you
last 2
see
weeks?
Tom Savage?
Obviously.
Exactly.
I saw Tom Savage, Lampard, Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl. Hall of Fame, bro.
Really? Pro Bowl?
Okay.
Way to aim low, Cameron. Pro Bowl.
Okay, I undersold him. Okay.
They're
Baseball Hall
already
of
they're
Fame.
already carving the busts out for these guys, man.
But as far as the Colts are concerned, Hakeem Nicks really don't know what he's going to bring to the offense. T.Y. Hilton, maybe he can stay healthy. Andrew Luck's been doing really good. Kobe Fleener, he's improving. I saw he had a nice touchdown catch last night.
Indeed.
Not necessarily sure what Trent Richardson is gonna bring to the table. They let Donald Brown walk right on down to San Diego, so I'm not necessarily sure. Trent Richardson's got to show improve. I think they're going to go as far as the running game can take them, because I don't want to put too much pressure on Luck to have to deliver at the level of an Aaron Rodgers or a Breeze or a Manning at this stage in his
But
career.
it doesn't have to in the division that he's in. He just has to.
Well, yeah, it's not about
I mean, think
divisions.
about that. He's got 6 games against teams that are
Inferior.
not even average.
Not even. I mean, but it's not
So
about
they're- they
division.
already-
Talking about Barry.
They already start off essentially 6-0.
They. I'll give
You're
them.
spotting
I'll
them.
give them 4
You're
and 2.
spotting them 6 again. Who are they gonna lose to and where?
They
Pick one. Pick one of those 3 teams that they lose to, and it's got to be on the
They'll lose
road
to
because they're not
Houston.
gonna. Oh.
Ooh.
Well, that was nice knowing you,
They
Cameron.
were one stroke away from winning last year.
In a lot of games.
Hey, good
One
luck to
pick
you
6
and
away.
your 15 fantasy football leagues, man. Best of luck to you. Hope you see the sun a little bit during the football season.
Oh, I'll see plenty sun.
Well, there you go.
Go Ravens.
Go Ravens. Cameron Thomas, your time is up. Thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on making the finals. Best of luck to you, Friday Night Two Blows. Hope to see you down the line, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Well played.
All right.
Michael, who's next? Should be only one name left in the cup.
Yeah.
This is the Facebook champion.
Is this who won?
He's on top by a mile.
Oh, really?
Alan Best.
What?
We're saving the best for last.
The best beard in the competition.
Alan Best. Ooh.
I don't know.
Drew.
I think Danny would have something to say
That's
about
true.
that.
When we come back, we are joined by Alan Best, the last of our Rock and Mike finalists who actually bothered to show up today. This is Houston Game Day on ESPN 97.5.